With a look at your forecast for today and beyond, we are in a weather impact day once again here because of dangerously low temperatures this morning. We really didn't get too warm during the day, but that was still part of the impact. And then we have another wave of snow that's coming through the Front Range tonight into tomorrow morning. So the impacts do continue. Now, when you look at our 9 News Weather Impact Day and what that actually is, this is just a way that we use it to give you guys a heads up to some potentially impactful weather. So if it's dangerous, if it's disruptive, or if it just stands out. So I do feel like this polar vortex event that we've been having with this Arctic cold front does all 3 of those things. So that's why we are in an impact day until Tuesday morning. After Tuesday morning, most likely going to go back to some more normal weather conditions. You can see outside there we had quite a bit of sunshine. There's a live camera looking out over the city of Denver right now. Some clouds in the area, and they're going to start to increase as we go through the later afternoon, early evening hours before the next wave of snow moves in. A look at the Eisenhower and Johnson Tunnel up at the Loveland Pass. Traffic moving smoothly there. Not too much impacts as far as snow with this system, but we will have another wave of snow coming through tonight, and that'll be mainly focused around the Front Range and the Front Range foothills. So as you look through Tuesday, that extreme Arctic cold lasts through at least till sunrise on Tuesday, and then at least the cold air will move out, at least this batch of cold air, and we'll start to warm up, and it could be a rapid increase or a temperature increase on Tuesday. We could go from something in the -9 or 10 range all the way up to the +40 range, so a good 50-degree swing potentially on Tuesday. So that could be interesting for sure. Another round of snow tonight. It looks like another wave of about 1 to 2 inches of snow, and it'll be that dry, powdery snow once again. The wind chills could get into that -15 to -20 range again in the morning, and then again on Tuesday morning as well. So that's the timing of your impacts. The dangerous cold is certainly the big impact from here on out, but that snow, I think with the wave of snow that we're expecting, could be briefly pretty impactful and create some slick driving conditions across the Front Range. So when you look at the weather box score for today, a high of 19 officially in Denver, because that was the high temperature at the Denver International Airport, and that is well below our normal high temperature for today, which is 45 degrees. -11 was the lowest temperature recorded officially in Denver with the reading here at DIA, and that is a few degrees cooler, I'd say, maybe about a good 28 degrees cooler than our average, but still shy of the record, which was set way back in 1883, a long-standing record there that these polar vortexes will, if we have another one next MLK Day, maybe it'll rival that temperature, but for now it stands. And tomorrow's temperature, by the way, the record is -18, so that looks to be safe as well. Observed highs for the rest of the state of Colorado and the region today, cold in place all across the area. The east half of the state very cold, somehow making it up to 27 degrees in Ray today. That's pretty impressive that you got that warm. The rest of the areas barely made it out of the 20s. Lamar 20 degrees, 20 degrees in parts of western Kansas as well. Cold in the mountains again. Gunnison made it up to 0 today, and that has been pretty much par for the course for the Gunnison Valley since about Thanksgiving. They've been having lows in the -20s and highs in the single digits pretty much consistently, and that is ongoing even during this polar vortex intrusion. Not too much of a change there. Right now at Denver International Airport at 4:30 in the afternoon, it is 16 degrees, so it's starting to decrease just a little bit there, and the pressure's dropping as these clouds start to move into the area. You can already see a little bit of snow, some light snow up in the northern front range, and that will just gradually work its way down to the south following the I-25 corridor into Denver, and that should be here in about 3.5 hours, somewhere around the 8 p.m. time frame there. And when we zoom out to see the rest of the country, you can see the impacts of what's going to be notably a historic Arctic cold front or polar vortex event. You can see all the way down the jet stream dipping all the way down into the Gulf of Mexico right now. Now the back end of this, what you would call a polar vortex or swirling mass of cold air out of the north, is what's going to really have the historic impact. It's kind of out there going through Salt Lake City and into the Great Basin and parts of Nevada and Utah right now. When that swings down to the south, we're looking at some potential accumulating snow in places like Houston, Texas, New Orleans, Louisiana, Mobile, Alabama, Tallahassee, Florida. So there's some areas that don't get accumulating snow too often. In fact, it's for most of those areas, it's been 8 years since they've had the last accumulating snow. In New Orleans, it's been 16 years since they've had official accumulating snow. They did get some snow fall and accumulation in parts of the area in that 2017 polar vortex, but they did not get any accumulation at their official climate station, which is at the New Orleans airport. So this could be pretty historic here. When we look at the radar picture across the state, a few flurries flying around in the high country and parts of the front range, a little bit more significant snow up to the north now, just crossing the Colorado state line from Wyoming, the Cheyenne area, into Larimer County and Weld County right now. Not too impactful, but that is what we are going to be looking for as we go through. Now this is the model showing that cold air, that Arctic cold front blasting in from the polar vortex. And it does appear to be able to clear our area by about 5 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday. So that's pretty significant because it's right before sunrise. So we could hit our very coldest temperatures of that day right before that Arctic air moves out. And then we are likely looking at a rapid warm-up on Tuesday with lots of sunshine, and the temperatures could potentially get up to 40 degrees, which would be a huge swing. Could be even looking at a top 20 one-day temperature swing, either up or down. This one would be upwards. And then as the bottom, let me rack that back there, the bottom of that polar vortex will swipe the southern states, and that's why we're going to be looking at the historic snowfall event here coming up on Tuesday, lasting all the way into Tuesday night. And then one more little batch of cold air sliding in here from the north on Wednesday afternoon. So we could get down into the teens to single digits once again before we warm up right before the weekend, which would bring another surge of Arctic air in. So here's the cold air alerts right now. We don't have any alerts for snow for tonight, but the cold air alerts are there. The blue areas, cold weather advisory is what they call it. -10 degree temperatures will be possible once again in these areas, and that does include the Front Range and Denver. Wind chills as low as -25. The green is an extreme cold watch, so that is an elevated version of that cold advisory, where the wind chills could be -35 to -50 in there, and that's Monday and Tuesday morning. And by the way, the warm spot of the day out there in Ray, Colorado, Yuma County is included in an extreme cold warning. So they already are warned for the possibility of wind chills in the -35 plus range. So let's look at the wind chill forecast really quick here. You can see the forecast going into tonight, staying above 0 for most of the night, and then by Monday morning dropping into the negative wind chills once again. We could see those potentially -10 to -15. The computer forecast model's coming down a little bit, and that's mostly not because of the change in winds, but the change in temperature. It looks like it won't be quite as cold tomorrow morning as it was yesterday morning or today, and tomorrow. So today we just get a slight little break. And part of that reason is because of the snow that's coming in tonight. We'll have cloud cover, and the active snowfall will help regulate the temperatures with the humidity and the moisture in the air. So potentially not getting quite as cold tonight as we might get again tomorrow morning. You see the timing on that snowfall coming in tonight. By 10 o'clock tonight, we should have some pretty decent snow showers in the Denver metro area. I'll back it up to see the exact timing there. So on this model, it's showing roughly 9 o'clock when the bulk of that impact starts, and then lasting into the night and even the overnight hours. Probably before sunrise, the bulk of this will be over, but there will still be flurries continuing all the way until about 10:30 in the morning, and then we could see a little bit of clearing going into Tuesday. And if we have completely clear skies tomorrow night, I think there's a good chance that we make it down into the -10 range again on Tuesday morning. As far as that snowfall, here's a look at the raw data coming from one of the computer forecast models showing roughly about an inch of snow falling out of this, but the potential would be that 1 to 2, maybe even 1 to 3 in certain areas, but you get the gist of that potential. And look, zoom in here on the front range just a little bit to see the timing of that. By 8 o'clock, it's already moving through Fort Collins into parts of Loveland and Longmont, and then after that, by about 9 o'clock, it's coming through the Denver metro. So when we have our newscast on tonight at 9 and 10 o'clock, we should be seeing some of those snow showers, lasting the bulk of it till about 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, and then it's just kind of flurries after that. But we are looking at, you'll have to shovel your sidewalks and driveways one more time here, but it's going to be that light, fluffy stuff, that champagne powder that the Colorado mountains are really famous for. And we're getting it down here for this time during this extreme cold event. Here's another one of those computer forecast models showing roughly the same snow accumulation potential between that 1 and 2 inches of expectancy. So that's a pretty good idea of what to expect there. And the forecast low temperatures, we're going to get into the negatives tonight, potentially not quite as cold as last night or tomorrow morning, but still negative temperatures to start out once again. And the difference for tomorrow is that cold air will continue to rush in after the snow. And so we could potentially keep those high temperatures in the single digits, going with 10 degrees here in the Denver metro area, which is a very cold, high temperature for the day, and much of the Front Range could see those 10 degree to even below as a high temperature. So for tonight, we're expecting the temperature to drop to at least -4 tonight, which would be a little bit of a break from what we've had the last couple of nights, and tomorrow 1 to 2 inches of snow with mostly cloudy conditions in between. And for your Monday, here's your timeline. So by 4 a.m. we're probably still seeing some of that snow starting to wrap up by 6 a.m. We stay cloudy until about noon. Temperature maybe getting up to 10 degrees once the sun starts to come out there in the later afternoon hours. So high temperature 10 degrees in Denver tomorrow. We do have that cold weather advisory remaining in place. We stay partly cloudy to trying to clear up after the snow event that we have overnight into tomorrow morning. But when you look at your 7-day forecast there, you can start to see the red colors of the weather impact days starting to come to an end there. The coldest overall day in this polar vortex event will be Monday, when you factor in the low temperature and the high temperature together and average them out. Monday will end up being the coldest day overall, although the lowest temperature is still yet to be decided, because Tuesday morning has an opportunity, especially with clear skies, to get down into that -11 range, just like we did on Monday. And then you look at the rest of your week there, and we stay relatively chilly. I mean, these are right around normal for this time of year. If we rewind things back to Denver, this would have been extremely cold. But for right now, the way we look at it is a bit of a warm up, and that's the way the rest of your week looks. So thank you for tuning in here, and that is your forecast. I hope you guys have a great week.